Hey there, this is Malorian, this is the Orc Tactical Team, and this is the second video on the Dwarf. So last time we talked about the book, the new special rules, the new runes, and just basically what type of builds you'd see. And this one's going to be building off of that, because you have to take all of that, and now it's special character time. So if you haven't seen that last one, go see it. And now we're going to talk about these guys here. Now, special characters, they've always been something kind of weird with dwarves, because there was a little while where, Thorgrim was kind of crazy, or Thorik was really crazy. He was banned from tournaments, but then that kind of got fixed, and now you didn't really see special characters at all. So I was really wondering with this book here, what were we going to get? Were we going to get super crazy guys again? Stupid things, something in the middle, and I was really hoping there'd be the special characters in here that really twist the army and let you play it in different ways. So let's take a look at it. And the first one is the High King. We're going to be talking about Thorgrim Grudgebearer, and this guy here is the badass on the big throne, right? So before, you would not see this guy. If you don't know who I'm talking about, I would not be surprised, because this guy was like 1,000 points. He was useless. He would take cannons to the face, and it'd be like, here, opponent, have 1,000 points. So, luckily, now, he's a lot different. Now, for starters, he's basically a lord on shield bearers, except to say again, plus 2 wounds, he gets plus 4. So he has 7 wounds. He's going to have a 4+ ward, 2+ armor save, but best yet, against anything that has the multiple wounds, or killing blow, or stuff like that, he has a 2+ ward save. So really, even though he can't get a lookout, sir, go ahead, shoot me. Yeah, cannon, come right here. 2+ save, and it's gone, right? So this guy is actually very survivable. He's also really good for his weapon. His weapon has always strike first. It's going to wound on a 2+, unless there's magic armor, so he wounds on a 3+, and then has a D6 wounds. So this guy is just like bam, bam, and like beating stuff up. And the best thing is it doesn't stop there. He also makes your army better. The unit he's in gets stubborn and immune to psych, so okay. But the other thing he does there too is that he modifies your ancestral grudge roll. So you know how normally you roll and you might have hatred against the characters, or characters have hatred against the other characters, or the whole army gets hatred. Well, he gives you +3 to that roll, which means on a 2+, your army has hatred against their army, which is really good. Plus, if you ever score a 7+, which works out to a 4+, then that unit gets to always re-roll their 2 hits. And that's really good. So it doesn't matter whether it's the first round or not, we're always re-rolling. So very, very strong stuff. And unfortunately, he is a lot of points. Looking at a regular lord, you would have to double that cost, maybe even add a little bit, and that's how much this guy is. Now, the thing is that when you're looking at a lord like this, there's 2 big factors you can use to justify that cost. One is point denial. This guy's a lot of points, and odds are you aren't going to kill him. So these are points that they are not going to score. The second part is, how much would you pay to get hatred for your entire army? Sure, you might roll it naturally, right? Maybe you're a rolling superstar, and I can just get a 5+. But for us mortals, it might be pretty nice to say, you know what, I want on a 2+ to have army-wide hatred, and that can be devastating. Now, of course that means it's going to be based off a scale. So on the smaller point games, no, don't take this guy. Probably you can't, because he's not within the 25%. But when you get to the larger size, you're looking at 3,000 points, I can definitely look taken at this guy. I mean, before, you might see him in crazy big armies like 5,000 points, and that's really just because they're trying to throw in stuff to get there. But now, when you're passing around that big, huge hatred bubble, it's really good. So, again, I wouldn't take in small games, but in big games, this guy I can definitely see starting to come out. Now, the next one here is somebody where he's been in a fluff for a long time, hasn't had rules for a long time, and this guy is Ungrim Iron Fist. He's basically the Slayer King. Now, he's kind of interesting because he is a Slayer. He gets all those other Slayer rules where you get to play with the ward saves, and you get to do D3 wounds and all that nice stuff, but he also has the armor and other stuff to go along with it. So he's going to be having a 2+ armor, a 4+ ward. He has a 2+ ward against flaming, and that's pretty nice. You also get to get one Slayer unit that has a 100-point banner rather than a 50-point banner, but that's kind of like, You could take the special heirloom banner, which is 100 points, which makes it so you get to reroll all your 2 wounds. Maybe, but it's a lot of points, so I don't know if I'd ever want to do that unless he was in the unit as well. He also has Killing Blow. He's going to be Strength 6, and he's also, his base stats are pretty nice. He has Weapon Skill 9, Toughness 6, so this guy is pretty good combat-wise. I mean, even if you're trying to hit this guy, normally it's a Slayer, right? Naked dude, whatever, he's dead. But this guy, you might, there's a good chance here you'll be hitting on 5s, wounding on 6s, then he has a 2+ save, a 4+ ward, so he's pretty solid. Here's the one key. He does come in to be just slightly more expensive than what a typical Lord build might be. However, he has to be with Slayers. He's a Slayer character. So whereas if I build a super cool Lord, I can wait to the end of my deployment and say, okay, I need you here. No, I'm going to need this here. Oh, geez, I might even want to put my Lord with my Thunderers to try and kill what's coming in here. This guy, unless you are taking lots of Slayer units, it's going to be like, yeah, he's with the Slayers. That's it. So you really lose that versatility with him. So the best thing I can say about this guy is that he is in that nice area where he's pretty cool. He doesn't really change your army. I mean, he goes with a theme, but he's not like stupid. He's in that area where it's like he's probably not worth the points, but he's okay. I wouldn't think less of you if you took the guy, right? So that's good. That's what I want to see from a special character. Next up, Thoric. So, used to be really awesome. Now, he sucks. We already talked about last time where you take the Rune Lord, you take the Anvil, and it just does not do anything for you anymore. Before, it would let you get charges and flanks and miners coming in charging your rear, and now it has 3 bound spells, one of which is the one that's going to get dispelled by your opponent, and it's a lot of points, and you would never do it. So, what you probably would do? Spend more points to make him a character. No? Yeah, that's right. So, he does have some different abilities where he gets to reroll one of his casting dice. He is giving you +1 to cast and to dispel. Sorry, no, it's only to cast. Man, I thought it was to dispel as well. But, yeah, only to cast. Ugh, it's so weak. He has, some armor and some weapons. But really, if something gets to your anvil, it's basically doing nothing anyway. So, what can I say? Just move along. Don't look at this guy. He is not worth it. Okay. No. I was going to say, maybe if you took him and another anvil, then you'll have lots of bound spells, get things through. And if you really want that +1 to your armor save, you'll have 2 tries, and it's so many points. Don't bother. Just get a whole nother, horde of guys. All right, now we got a guy with, he has the brand new model. It is a Belagar Ironhammer, and he's, let's go over him. So this guy here, he's going to be a Lord level character. He is stubborn, so it's one way of getting stubborn into a unit. Once per game, he can double his attacks, so that's okay. He has Always Strike First, +1 to wound, and also he has a 4+ ward, and he's immune to Killing Blow and stuff like that. So, and Heroic Killing Blow. So that's really it. He is pretty simple. He's around, again, about the same cost as a regular Lord build when you put your little things on him. So it's like, I don't know. He's not super defensive. He can have that thing where he'll be like, I'm going to do my 8 attacks and go crazy. But that's really it. And for the points you're spending there, it's really just not enough. It is nice where you can say, like, I put this guy here and he gives stubborn. But if you really want to do that, instead of spending the points on this guy, just upgrade your unit to Longbeards and just give him the stubborn rune, or just take hammerers or something like that. So really not impressed with this guy, and it's too bad because he looks cool, but it's just not there. It's just not worth it. Next one here, we're looking at Grim Burluxon, and this is that Super Master Engineer guy. And again, a new model, you're wondering what crazy thing he's going to do. And he does some interesting stuff. He's like the other Master Engineers, so you're going to get to entrench one of your war machines and cool stuff like that. Also on a 2+, he gets to give one of these good abilities. One of them is so that he can pass on his ballistic skill, which is pretty good when it's ballistic skill 5, so that could be interesting. He gets to re-roll the artillery dice, and this can even be for a cannonball bounce or for how far the flame cannon goes. And that's like, ooh, that could be pretty interesting, right? If you want to make sure that this cannonball is going to get somewhere, all right, I'm going to do this. If I want to make sure this flame cannon is going to land right on these guys and devastate it, he could be interesting. Another one you can do too is make a unit of crossbows or handguns, increase their range by 2d6. This probably won't be crossbows. Where this would be is, say, with your Thunderer's first turn, right? His first turn, you know you're out of range. No, I'm going to add 2d6 range, and also my Thunderers are going to shoot first turn. So, okay, that could come up. And then the last one here is probably the one that's going to be the most interesting, where the unit gets to reroll all their hits with shooting. And that could be pretty crazy if you build for it. Finally, he has some cool gear. He has a gun that gets 2d3 shots, a strength 4, armor piercing. Pretty interesting there. And he also has the Cog Axe, which, you know, on a 5+ can destroy other magical stuff. But let's be honest, if this guy gets to combat, he's probably dead. Now, the way, like I already talked about, he can be there. He can be boosting that stuff. So if it's first turn, your Thunderers are going to shoot. But it's going to be that one ability there, the reroll to hit, which is going to be key. And this is where you have to build a list around it, right? So maybe if you're going for a super shooty army, on one side you have a bunch of Thunderers to use that ability on the first turn, and on the other side you got the Iron Drakes. And I'm not talking like a little unit of 10. I'm talking like a maxed out unit, going too deep, as wide as you can, to get as many shots as you can. They're going to have the Rune of Slowness, and you're going to say, all right, all you guys, re-roll the hit. Pew, 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 pew. Oh, you're going to charge us? Okay, you're going to fail your charge, and we're going to stand and shoot. Pew, 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 pew. Oh, okay, our turn again? Okay, you guys, re-roll the hit. Pew, 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 pew. You know, it's just, it can be very deadly. But you have to build the list around it. So, again, I'd say the only thing that I don't like about him is that he's going to, of course, encourage gun lines, but at least it's something where, you know, it's a special character that's going to be saying, let's take a different build. Let's do something different with it. So I like that. His point cost isn't crazy, and especially when you're looking at all the extra damage that unit's going to do by re-rolling to hit, I say he's worth it. So very interesting, and I like him. Last one you get here is Joseph Buckman, and this is the guy you want to be good. He is the Dwarf Brewmaster. He's the guy going around with a keg, and you know, he's all about his rangers and stuff like that. Now, in this one here, he can turn basically some rangers into Buckman's rangers. You get to be weapon skill 5, ballistic skill 4, strength 4, so basically like super long beards. However, it's only 3 points a model, as opposed to basically the 4 points a model it was before. So that's okay. The one thing that's not okay with that is how expensive it makes them, right? Also with that, the unit or the models are 17 points per model, and that is really pricey. And it's like, we'll be really good with our crossbows and we'll be really strong, but the problem is with a unit like this, you can't do everything, right? I mean, if you're going to sit there and use your crossbows, you're not moving. You're not getting into combat. If you're going up there and getting into combat, well, then why are you taking these guys and not hammerers or something else, right, for cheaper? So it is cool that you can make like this super unit that can scout in and go somewhere, but for most parts, people aren't stupid, and you're not going to get to deploy this behind their lines. They're going to be somewhere mid-board, and at the end of the day, because they have crossbows, they're probably going to start back with your army, because then you get the most shooting, and unfortunately, it's one of those things that's cool, but it's not really tactically wise. He does have other rules, though, luckily. Also, at the start of each of your turns, you roll 2d6. Double 1, you become flammable, so that's not good. But on 2 to 9, you get belligerent, so you get stubborn. And then on 12 to 10, you get +1 toughness. And that can be pretty nice. And so most of the time, he's giving you stubborn. Sometimes he's also giving you +1 toughness, which might as well be stubborn because you should not be losing combat then. He's going to make you immune to fear and terror, which is better than immune to sight because you can still flee. He has a little magic weapon that adds +1 to one attack and +1 strength, so it's okay. And he also has his tankard, where at the start of each of your turns, you get to take one model that's in your unit and heal D3 wounds. And I think this is the most interesting thing about him. That type of rule has been there before, but I believe before it was only 1 wound. D3, and especially in combination with how defensive and crazy you can make these new characters. Like the build that I liked with my Dwarf Lord is I'm toughness 7 with 6 wounds, right? Go ahead. Try and kill me. Yes, go ahead. Now, what you can do is basically your drunk man becomes a medic. You're going to go for like a character style Death Star, put your characters in the front, and, they'll have multiple higher toughness, higher wounds, and, oh, you did a couple wounds to a guy? Healed, right? Oh, man, my guy with 7 wounds is down to 4 wounds. Oh, no, healed, right? So it's kind of silly that this guy will become a medic, but that's probably the best use for him. He'll also be making them stubborn. Then again, in a character Death Star, you shouldn't be losing anyway. If you ever get the toughness, then it's making it even stronger. So again, it's one of those things where if you're building a list that's going to have this kind of thing to it, all right. And it doesn't have to be a character Death Star either, right? Maybe it is just your whatever unit that has your Lord in there or some important character, and then Buckman can be on the very tip corner and just healing the guy up, right? So it could be in your normal horde of warriors or great weapons or hammers or whatever, and it's just making them that much better, right? So that I can kind of see. One of those things, again, it's almost like the Slayer Lord, where it's like, okay, I can understand it. So that's it. That's the special characters. Definitely the big loser, Thoric. What a fall from grace this guy's had. Yeah, you should... I really don't see why you would take this guy. I just don't. The biggest winner across all of these would be Grim Burlickson, because that guy there, like I said, he's an okay point cost. It's not like the High King where you're waiting for 3,000 points to use this guy. All you need to do is set up your army to be shooty, right? And you don't need to have the Iron Drake thing. You could do it all with Thunderers as well. Just make sure you're only 2 deep and as wide as you can to maximize those shots, and it can be very devastating. Of course, if you did it with Thunderers, you would have to find some other way to get that banner of slowness in there just to make sure they're doing their thing. But for the most part, most of the special characters were okay, right? They were just the one other flop. Man, what was the name of that guy? Beligar, where it's like, he's pretty garbage. But, most of the others, they were all right. So I like that. I like how these special characters came in. I would have liked it more if guys like the Slayer King would have said, you know what, Slayers are core now. That would have been fantastic. I love special characters that really change these things. Or maybe with that special... God, I gotta say their right names or else I'll be an idiot. I'll be an idiot either way. But with Grim Burlickson, if you take him, maybe Iron Drakes are special instead of rare. Or stuff like that. I really wish we'd see more things. Sure, you have it so that if you take Buckman, you can get Super Rangers and stuff like that. But again, maybe instead of that, what if Rangers came back to core? That would be great. I would love that. So, unfortunately, that type of functionality is not there. But either way, they're interesting. And I think I'm going to go pick up that the little artillery guide. And I might get some Iron Drake. So, there you have it. Interesting stuff. Please comment below what you think of the special characters. And there you have it. So, we'll catch you later.